Mark Twain once said, "Apparently there is nothing that cannot happen today." With so many changes in today's world, students need to stay informed. In Grade 7 Social Studies, the students have been following current events all year long. The task now was to use Twitter to share their current events and participate in posting comments and asking questions on news articles and other social media sites. Their summative would be to reflect on what they learned using a screencast. There were a number of goals for this project. The first goal was to deepen students' awareness and understanding of local, national, or world issues. The second goal was to increase students' motivation to read the news on a more regular basis. The third goal was to improve students' skills at summarizing main ideas of nonfiction text. The fourth goal was to develop students' critical thinking skills by having them tweet or post high-level questions or comments with an authentic audience. And finally, the fifth goal was to have the students engage in metacognitive reflection by having them articulate what they learned using a screencast. The students used Twitter to share their news stories. It was the perfect medium because it allowed them to summarize articles efficiently, see what their friends were reading and following, allowed them to follow people or events, as well as keeping them easily informed and updated. The students also linked Twitter to Facebook to broaden the audience of who could view and comment on their tweets. As they were getting ready for their summative, students used tools such as Awesome Screenshot, Screencast-O-Matic, Screencastify, and QuickTime Player to help them create their final screencast. Was this redefinition? I think so. According to the SAMR model, redefinition is when students use technology to create or complete new tasks that would have been impossible without the use of it. In this case, the use of Twitter physically limited students' ability to ramble while trying to summarize. It also allowed the students to see what was happening around the world almost immediately and allowed them to share in ways that was not possible without this tool. The screencast also allowed the students to capture their voice when presenting their images and share it with an authentic audience through posting it on their blog. Most of my students had not used Twitter or had experience creating a screencast before. The students needed to be willing to try something new and experiment with it in order for this assignment to work, which they did. The result was positive, and many learned a lot. Since both Twitter and screencasting were new, I scaffolded the assignment. I introduced what Twitter was by showing it to them and having them follow me. Then we practiced using Twitter by following the Sochi Olympics and sharing our tweets in small class discussions. Next came the challenge. Once the Olympics finished, I added some complexity. Now they had to tweet about current events, but they also had to leave comments and questions, either as tweets or as direct responses in the discussion threads at the bottom of news articles. They were also asked to link Twitter to Facebook, retweet tweets, follow people or events, and favorite things. Finally, we had Mr. Tim come in to teach us about screenshots and screencasts, and they began to plan their reflective summary. They were given plenty of time to experiment with the new technology in class so that they could seek help from myself or their peers. And were they successful? Yes. They really enjoyed learning about new technology such as using Twitter and making screencasts. They are now armed with new technological skills that they will most likely use again. So were my goals met? Definitely. Check out what they did. So what do you guys think of Fong's screencast?
It was great, especially with the ending music.
Yeah, what made it great, Poom?
Well, font creation and good use of graphics.
All right.
Hello and welcome to Fonts, favorable, fashionable, famish, flourish, finalized, factual, futuristic, friendly, flashy, professional project of extraordinary events. Well, that was long. Anyway, this is my current events project. In this project, I'll be showing you guys about the events happening in the world today. So enjoy! So, first off, I would like to give an overview of all the events. Well, overall, these three articles was most interesting to me. This first one, for example, is about the missing Malaysian flight MH370. As you can see over here, the plane just vanished off the radar mysteriously. A lot of transportation and other authorities are still searching for it, making me and a lot of other people anxious.
This is also one that I found interesting. It is one with an explanation for why airplanes have round windows that Boom posted. I always thought that airplanes had round windows for the design, but then I guess I was wrong. It's because of the air pressure of the airplane. So that's why the windows are round.
Hello everyone, my name is Jerwachura Tantatam, also known as Alex. Today I'll be recounting my experience doing current events on Twitter. First of all, these are three articles I found most interesting. The Fukushima leakage that was predicted to hit the US West Coast. This, coming from Tech Times and along with the map, the image, I found it most interesting because as you can see, Fukushima has been it broke down a long time ago, and this is still ongoing. Our technical difficulty. Okay, as you can see, this is a diagram of the ocean currents between USA and Japan. As you can see, Fukushima is located on the east coast of Japan, and this is the west coast of the United States. As you can see, there is nothing in between them. The Kuroshio current leads directly from there to the US West Coast, where it gets spread around by this current here and those currents, presumably, meaning that the whole West Coast could be radioactive. The brown water seen in this image is the radioactive water leaking from a temporary radioactive water containment tanks, which increase in numbers every day, as the water has to be continuously pumped into the reactor as coolant. As many of the tanks are leaking, the increasing amount of tanks also means the total amount of radioactive water leaking out of the facility increases almost daily.
What I like about this current event project is that when we work on our project, we can read on the news, and it helped us stay focused on what's happening. Without us need to read the news, we just have to work and we know about what's happening around the world at the same time.
Okay, great.
For me, I like using Twitter because it helped me practice my English skill and writing skill. And for this project, I enjoyed reading other articles and posting them on Twitter. And I really liked how it was kind of challenging to put all 5 main W's into 140 words because it really helps you practice putting it in a short and useful way. So.
Do you think you'll keep tweeting?
Yeah, because there are stuff that I may find pretty interesting and I want my friends to know.
Cool, awesome. Tyra, what did you learn?
That there's always newer and interesting articles going on in this whole world. I learned that there are some things that we don't know yet and that other people know, and so I think that these articles we should read more to know these things.
Cool. So you like the sharing of the articles? Awesome. Rima?
It might sound lame to you, but even though I use Google Chrome, I've never used the add-ons. So I didn't know there were a lot of stuff you could use on it. So when I heard Screencastify or the annotating one, I was pleasantly surprised because that meant that now that I knew they were there, I could use the other stuff that came with it.
So what did I learn? I learned that we are all learning together. Twitter, screenshots, screencasting were all new technologies to me. So as the students progressed, We learned from each other and solved problems together, and through thoughtful scaffolding, allowing processing time, and experimentation, the students were very successful. The biggest benefit of Coetails for me was being able to learn about all the different types of technology available and the range of effective ways that it can be implemented in the classroom. Prior to Coetail, my technology skills were extremely limited. Now I know about infographics, flipped learning, screencasts, Puppet Pals, more effective blogging techniques, Flubaroo, screenshots, Google Chrome extensions, sites to create video games, and so on. So where do I go from here? I plan on continuing to build my knowledge base of different ways to utilize technology in the classroom. I want to explore questions such as, how can I improve writing and reading skills through different technologies? What technologies would most help an ELD or special needs student? And so on. Thanks, Coetails, for a great learning experience.